Quarantine activities. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Some of these things are very simple. Some of these things you can do from your bed. You can do them on your back while you're taking another quarantine nap. So let's just go ahead and get right into these. Quarantine activity number 1 is selling things that you don't need. Now, whether that be selling an expensive car that you may have a payment on, or selling an expensive phone that you may have a payment on, downgrading to a trap phone or something like that, now might be a good time to go ahead and sell those things. In addition, I saw an interesting development on exercise equipment. If you have any home exercise equipment, you might be able to sell it at a premium right now just because people are fiending for certain things. I mean, it might be a good time to just sell all of your equipment and do push-ups and sit-ups for a little bit, maybe run on the sidewalk for a little bit if you have a treadmill, and you can make a lot of money. Like, I bought my Bowflex equipment for about $100, and I recently saw it selling for like $800 on eBay. So that's a good opportunity there. If you have things that people can't do anymore, they can't go to the gym anymore, but you know that you can buy it back as soon as this is over, might be a good opportunity to look into selling some of that stuff. So that's activity number 1. Now the next activity is one of introspection. So we're just gonna need to just turn the lights down and just close our eyes for a second. Now, as you look at me with my eyes closed and your eyes are still open, what I want you to envision is, what would I do if money were no object? What would I do if I didn't have to worry about what things cost? That is your dream. Whatever you just saw, that is your dream. And if your eyes were open, you just saw me. So likely either I'm your dream or it's something else. But if I'm your dream, I mean, hey,
welcome to the channel.
Boy, if you don't get...
But if I am not your dream, what you need to figure out is, how much is that thing going to cost? It just kind of gets your mind working on, man, my dream is going to cost me $10 million. How do I get myself to $10 million? Rather than the alternative mindset, which is, man, my dream costs $10 million. Pfft, that ain't gonna happen. We don't want to have that loser mindset. All right, the next thing I want you to do is bring all of your credit card statements together, whether that be through Mint, whether that be through You Need a Budget or some other service. I actually just do it through my BECU app. It's a great banking service, great app, but bring all of your banking statements together, all of your credit card statements together, and list your expenses as such. Things that were essential, I want you to list those and see how much those costed. Things that were not essential, but you feel like you got a lot of value out of those expenses. And then the last one are things that maybe you impulse bought, things that you maybe did not get so much value out of. Now, when it comes to making a budget, you know that if you're trying to pay off debt or you're trying to invest more, those things in the category of, I spent money on this and I did not get much value out of it, those are the first things to be cut. The next things would be the things that I did get value out of, but I did not necessarily need to spend those things. That core, that's important to know, because once you can cover that with passive income, once you can cover that core, you know that you've reached some level of financial independence. All right, number 4 is calculate your retirement number. Now, once you know how much you spend per month, you can figure out how much you spend per year. All you have to do is take that, multiply it by 25, and by the rule of 25, that is your retirement number. That is how much you would have to invest to cover all of your expenses with a 4% withdrawal rate from a retirement account. Download certain financial apps. So the financial apps that you should definitely have downloaded are all of your credit card and banking apps, your employer's 401k provider. Mine is Fidelity, so I have the Fidelity app. You should have investing apps. Mine are M1 Finance and Robinhood. Another one that you should have is something that tracks your credit score. I personally use Turbo, and some of my credit card apps track my credit score, and something that tracks your debt to income ratio. For that one, I use Turbo. And number 6 is figure out what your DTI or debt to income ratio is and what your credit score is. What is the importance of your debt to income ratio? It depends on whether or not you want to buy real estate. Now, they want to see a debt to income ratio, they being lenders, under 36%. That means that of the money that you bring in, less than 36% of it, 36% or less goes out to debt payments. So it goes out to, student loans, or goes out to car payments. So if you want to buy a house, you should be focused on paying down a car if you have it, a phone if you have it, anything that gets reported to the credit bureaus. And you should know what is being reported to the credit bureaus. That's another good reason to get Turbo. Number 7 is create a plan for your budget. How much will you spend and on what? The reason that it's very important to have a budget is the same reason why it's very important to have plays if you're a football team. You can't just go out on the football field and have one play that's called get yards. You have to have a plan. You have to know where your tackles are going, where your guards are going. You have to know whether it's a run play, a pass play, what patterns are your receivers running. You need to tell your money where to go, not just wonder where your money went. You wouldn't just see a coach send 11 players out onto the field and just be like, all right, good luck, guys. Hopefully we win the game. You're not going to win the game. You're going to lose the game, and you're going to wonder why. Number 8 is use a retirement calculator. Go in there and just play around with the retirement calculator. The retirement calculator I like to use is Edward Jones. So if you just go in there, you can adjust the return on investment. You can adjust how much you're putting in per year, depending on what you put in there for contributions and depending on what you put in there for your return on investment. You can see where you will be by when. So let's say that I wanted to retire by, let's say, 45 years old. I could say, okay, I'm 27, so in 18 years, I want to be at my retirement number. So I have calculated my retirement number, which based on my expenses of $31,000 a year, my retirement number is about $775,000. So if I wanted to calculate how to get from point A to point B, I would need to adjust my contributions and my return on investment. So that's going to dictate kind of what I do between point A and point B to get there in 18 years. Number 9 is super easy. You could literally do this on your bed, and it is open a high interest savings account. That's just going to help you sweep a little bit more money into your pocket when you are putting your money into savings. So right now, a lot of people are out there just getting 0.01% or 0.10% on their savings account. And that's just not enough when you can go out there and get like 1.75%, or who knows what it'll be when this video actually comes out, just because interest rates are tending towards zero as we speak. So that's why I make my videos on the weekend, because things can't change as much on the weekend. The markets aren't open, and we'll see what happens going forward. But in theory, high interest savings accounts do help you save a little bit more money through that interest rate. Number 10 is starting multiple sources of income. Now, a lot of us have been hit hard by this, and we have lost our source of income, but you don't necessarily need to lose all of your sources of income if you start a side hustle today. If you are temporarily laid off, the best thing that you could do for yourself right now is try to find an online source of income. If you're a teacher and you guys have been sent home, try to pick up some tutoring. Then once you're doing that tutoring at home, you can schedule that stuff for after school. You can be grading papers, you can be tutoring, and then the next time some type of downturn or unexpected event happens, well, now I've got another source of income to draw on. Number 11 is finding cheaper hobbies. So that could be hiking, that could be camping, that could be any manner of things that are just cheap to do. Just going around walking, enjoying exercise, enjoying times with friends that are not expensive, enjoying things like playing sports, This is a good time because a lot of us have had our incomes cut off, and a lot of us can't go to many places. Like we can't go to the bar. We can't go to all these places that charge these exorbitant fees for you to get in. We can't go to concerts. So this is a great time for us to connect with things like board games, things like reading, things that are cheap, things that are simple. This is a great time to fall in love with those things and stay in love with those things. Number 12 is find a cheaper housing situation. Now, it might be hard out there in the rent market to find someone who's willing to come outside and meet with you right now, but if you can find a cheaper housing situation, whether that be downsizing or whether that be having a roommate or whether that be when you buy your house, instead of buying a single family home, maybe you buy a duplex and rent out the other half, and then by doing that you can live there for free. Finding a cheaper housing situation, you've got plenty of time to do it. We're just sitting at home posting our little home workout videos or posting about how bored we are. Go ahead and get on some of these activities and you'll come out of the other side of this a lot stronger. A lot of people think they're gonna, face ruin in this situation, but if you come out of this a lot stronger, it's going to be because of the choices that you made during it. And with the markets down and with everything that's going on, there's so much opportunity out there, but only if you take advantage of it. It's almost like if you came up to a beggar with a cheeseburger and they said, I like steak. It's like, you don't get steak right now. You don't have the pockets for steak. It's like you just can't always seek pleasure all the time. Sometimes you have to do something practical. Like if I had to guess, I'd say that I probably like meth. It's probably a fun time, but life's not always about seeking pleasure. So sometimes you got to do something practical. Sometimes you got to sacrifice that good old fashioned meth high. Bruh. And that was a weird way to put that, but 13 is pick up an online skill. So whatever that may be, you know, whether that be editing someone's videos, whether that be making thumbnails, whether that be editing pictures, Photoshop, anything that can make you marketable online. You could do voiceovers, you could do anything online. There's so many ways to get paid online. You could literally, I think I'm just going to put a little scroll of, how to figure out how to make money online, because I don't have time to go through all the ways to make money online. There are plenty of them. Number 14, this one ties in with what we said about picturing what we really want out of life. Now, if we picture what we really want out of life, and then we go to this beautiful resource, this great website, it's google.com, you put how to in front of what you want to be. Like, for example, I want to be rich one day. How to be rich. Boom. You go to the results, right? There's going to be all kinds of down there. Just, it'll be books. There'll be all kinds of YouTube channels, be all kinds of Wall Street Journal, all that stuff. Anything that you want to do in life, how to save the environment, how to lose weight, how to whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. Go in there. Figure out how to get to what you want to get to. Number 15 is unfollow people on social media. So go ahead and unsubscribe from this channel if I've triggered you during this video. But seriously though, a lot of what we see on social media, a lot of what is on social media, the people that we follow, the people from our past, it's just a lot of negativity. Like, for example, you'll see one of my pet peeves. I hate this. I know my goals, right? I know my goals. And then people will post something that's just like contradictory to that, or something that's discouraging. Like, for example, the posts that are like,
it's okay if you gain 15 pounds during quarantine, just take care of yourself.
And I'm like, you do that, okay? You do that, unfollow, you go over there and gain 15 pounds. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, don't let somebody give you excuses. If somebody's feeding you excuses, get rid of them. Like, you need to get rid of that person. I'm never going to feed anyone any excuses on this channel. And if you don't like that, unsubscribe and please get away from me. I don't tolerate excuses. I don't make excuses. If you make excuses for yourself, feel sorry for yourself, please do us both a favor and get very far away from me. So anyways, hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Please do give it a thumbs up, because when you do, YouTube will recommend the video to people that have watch habits like yours, so it does help the video spread, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And on the topic of cheaper housing situations, downsizing, living with a roommate, sometimes I'll suggest that people do this and they'll say, you know, I really like not living with a roommate. I like living by myself. And I'll just, in my mind, I'm like, well, you're broke. So maybe, fuck, I'm not gonna put that in there.